Mayor Rich Walker. Before we introduce Mayor Walker and have everybody get to meet him and have him speak to us, we have a few things that we want to go over. Bailey put our agenda in the chat. Bailey is our wonderful director of communications. So the first thing that we want to go over is that as a part of the Youth Innovation Table leadership team, we've started a new initiative called the Youth Innovator Recognition. And this is where we recognize leaders who are youth, who are making a positive difference in their community. So for our first Youth Innovator Recognition, we're recognizing two wonderful leaders all the way from California. And Grace, who is our California director, is going to give them their recognition. Grace?
Yeah, so these are my friends, Lila and Lindsay. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here. One has work and the other is out of town. But basically, they started a nonprofit organization called Lie and Lens for Lives, and they make like gold beaded bracelets that say that you can put sayings on it, like your name or whatever. And they sell them, and all of the proceeds go to the Sadie Keller Foundation, which is a cancer foundation. And it's really cool. Like all of our friends have them. They have an Instagram. I can put it in the chat if you guys want to order through them because they can ship. So yeah, they're super cool. They started it all by themselves, and yeah.
Congratulations to these two leaders. They're not here with us today, but we'll send them the recording and definitely do everything that you can to support them and all of our youth. So Mayor Scott Brook, who's not on the call yet with us, is the founder of the Youth Innovation Table. He's the mayor of Coral Springs, Florida, and Bailey is going to put his bio in the chat as well. But he has been a wonderful mentor to us and is the reason why we're all here today. So we wanted to just give him a special shout out as well. I'm going to turn it over to Miriam, who's our vice president at the Youth Innovation Table, to introduce our team and ways to get involved.
All right, so as you guys can see on the slide, this is our leadership team. So I am Miriam, I'm the vice president. And then obviously we have Sanan, the president. We have our two communication directors, Bailey and Isabel. We have our YIT California director, Grace. And we have our wonderful secretary, Julianne. And here are 3 areas of involvement for the Youth Innovation Table. So if you guys are interested in having a greater role, please reach out to us so you can be involved in specifically marketing and outreach, member retention and recruitment, or the fundraising. And these are all different committees. And this is to all the people with parents who might be interested, or businesses, or anyone who would be able to sponsor for the Youth Innovation Table. We'd really love your support. And if you guys want to reach out to us, we can definitely work something out. And you can see on the screen, there are just different opportunities for sponsorship. And I want to quickly go over just some Zoom etiquette. So if you all are able to, please turn your camera on. It just helps with the connection. Please mute yourself unless you are speaking. You can also use the raise hand feature if you have something you'd like to add to the conversation and the Zoom reactions, as you can see here. And if you want to, you could also use the chat feature.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And that's everything that we wanted to cover for our club business portion. And now I'm extremely excited and honored to introduce to you today Mayor Rich Walker of Parkland, Florida. Mayor Walker is an incredible leader in our community. He is extremely successful not only in the civic world as mayor and on the commission in Florida, but also in the business world as well. So Mayor Walker, the floor is yours to share with us your experiences, your insight, your advice to our youth, and anything else that you may see valuable. And we can't thank you enough for being here today. Welcome to the Youth Innovation Table.
Absolutely, Sanat. It's my pleasure to be here. One of the best things, with being a leader is your involvement, whether it's in your community, in groups, or whatever it may be, is just getting involved and being focused and trying to do what you can to meet new people, expand your group. What you guys are doing here today and have been doing for some time is truly amazing. teaches you valuable tools that you'll use going forward. It's not as easy as people would think, to get up there and speak and to be organized. You guys do a lot of work, so it's a tool that you'll take with you forever, whether it's in civics, whether it's in business. Organization, getting people together is difficult. So these are fantastic tools. That's one of the hardest things for myself in my certainly business, and even now as being mayor, is trying to keep everything organized. Organization is so important. The more organized you are, the more that you can get done, the more involved you can be, the more you'll learn, going forward. It's nice to be able to do, one or two things, but if you can be organized and be focused, and you can handle 3, 4, 5 different things, that just makes you that much more valuable. And that's one of the things being a leader, I think, is super important. Honesty, I can't express how important honesty is. Honesty is important for a number of reasons. As long as you're honest and always true to yourself, people will see that. They'll trust you more, which gives you a greater value in whatever organization it is. And you'll never lose sight of who you are and where you are. So the more honest and compassionate and involved I can be, I can help others succeed, which to me gives me satisfaction. It's not about my own personal growth, because I feel that growth, when I help people move forward and do different things. Those are the things that make me, what I consider to be a good leader.
Those are really great points, Mayor Walker. I really appreciate you for sharing that. And you embody all of those values of being a compassionate and honest leader. And we can't thank you enough for that and for being here today to share that with our youth. So for everyone who's on the call, please, if you'd like to, unmute and ask any questions. If you'd like to put any questions in the chat, if you'd like to use the raise hand function, or if you'd like to just talk and discuss what you've been doing and how Mayor Walker can maybe help guide you or give you some advice in that direction. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call on someone to maybe just tell us a little bit about who they are, what school they go to, and anything that they're passionate about or what they've been working on. I'll go ahead and start with, how about Jacob?
Hi, thank you for sharing all this information. I'm Jacob. I'm a junior at NSU University School, and some projects I've been working on are, I've been active with the Youth Innovation Table. I've joined it a few months ago, and I've really loved all the great things it's been doing. And some things I'm doing by myself are, I've been leading a club at school. I'm the founder and leader of the Pennies for Patients Club, which is to help raise awareness about blood cancer within our community. And I'm just like working on a few activities through there within our school community. And also previously, I've participated in the LLS Student of the Year Challenge to just raise funds for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I did it with Sanan. It ended about like 2 months ago, but through there, we just got involved with our local community. We hosted events, reached out to local companies for sponsorships, and it was just a great experience. And I don't have any questions. Thank you for sharing all this information.
Thank you, Jacob. I see a question in the chat from Miriam, who asks, what made you realize you wanted to pursue this path?
So really, there's been a couple paths. My business path, that came about. My business partner, his father, the company we purchased from his father had gotten sick, and he needed to, help his father, continue the business going on, and he felt he needed additional help. So him and my business partner and I, we were, best friends through college. He was president of the fraternity. I was vice president. We worked at a lot of the same places together. So when this opportunity came up, I saw this as an opportunity to help my friend. I had originally gone to school for pre-law, and I had intended to be an attorney. So I'm not sure if it's thankfully, but I've been, moderately successful. But again, for me, it was, helping out a friend, having the opportunity to work with my friend. And, here I am 25 years later. As far as politics is concerned, I saw myself when I first ran for commission 2.5 years ago. I looked at myself as having a different background. I had 5 younger children, and I was in a different place in the city of Parkland. I was more involved in parks. I was more involved in the schools. So I saw that at the time I was going to give a different voice to the commission. So that's the main reason why I decided to run there. Is I just wanted to give my generation a voice, because I felt some of the things that a lot of my friends and colleagues were interested in were not necessarily as big a focus as we thought it should be. So that's the main reason why I ran for politics in Parkland. And I'm glad I did. And once I did, and I got more invested and I understood the opportunities, there's so much more that you can do to help people, to help your city. So it's been a wonderful experience. I'm so happy that I was able to fulfill the service so far. Hopefully I have many years to come, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor Walker, and thank you, Miriam, for that great question. Miriam, do you have any follow-up questions for Mayor Walker, or is that good for you?
I don't have any follow-up questions, but thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And it's always interesting to hear what brings people to, the field that they end up in.
Yep.
That's true. Cushy, who's on the call as well, has a question for you. And as we're going along, as you can see, Cushy use the raise hand function. If any of our youth or even our adult mentors have a question or comment, please feel free to share. Cushy?
Okay. I know that many of us are in high school right now, and we have to make decisions for our future as we're going into college. So I have asked many adults this question, and I've heard a range of answers about this. So I'd like to see Mayor Walker's take on this question. I'd like to ask that I know many people are pressured about making a decision about what they want to do in life at the age of 17 or 18 when we're writing our college applications and being ready to go to college. Do you think that we should be pressured in this way, or do you think that we will have more chances in the future to change or make a better pathway of what we want to do in the future? Because right now we're at such a young age. I'm a sophomore, so making these decisions, you might change your mind over time. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a great question. More than likely you will change your mind. Obviously as you're growing, you get different experiences, you meet different people, and you might be focused in one particular direction. And then you take another class, your senior year, maybe you take a different class and you start to develop a love for that. It's worrisome and it's stressful for kids to, try to focus so early on something, because even in college, you're going to take a lot of liberal arts classes that are going to, introduce you to different philosophies. So it's important to try to focus, but I wouldn't get so set on needing to make all the decisions for the rest of your life today, because again, people change majors, people change colleges, people change careers. So I would never stress yourself on making sure or making yourself feel you're making a decision for the rest of your life, because you can always change. You should change. You should embrace different embrace different experiences, embrace different knowledges. Don't necessarily get caught up in focusing on one thing.
That's definitely very reassuring to hear, Mayor Walker. And great.
Although I'm not sure your parents would necessarily want to hear that, because everybody's got a different philosophy. I'm a little bit more, you have to try to experience as much as you can, especially when you're young, because it does get harder. At my age now, for me to try to change a career or change something, it's a little bit harder than when I was 17, 18. And you never want to go back when you're 30, 35 and say, if I only gave that another chance, or if I only tried that a little harder. Don't be afraid to try anything, experience things while you're young, because it does get harder to do as you get older.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Thank you, Mayor. We have another question from Sebastian Frazier, who asks, what do you think are some of the best ways for young people to learn social and political advocacy?
Yeah, I think what you guys are doing now is again what I talked about earlier, is involvement. Get involved in anything and everything you could get involved in. Makes you a better person. It gives you more experiences. It gives you different points of view. Those things are so important, whether it's, volunteering at a senior home, or, getting a job volunteering at the library, or, maybe even volunteering, coaching a sports team, or, whatever it is. Any involvement you get or gives you different experiences. Again, gives you different points of view. So especially when you're young, you have more time now. You guys don't have any children yet. You're maybe not working. So this gives you a chance to really just, kind of test the water, see what types of things you like. Maybe if you decide you tried this and you like it, you try more. Then maybe that leads to something else. Not all roads lead to the same exact place. You may start heading in this direction, and then at some point you take a little turn and you start going that way. Don't be afraid to take chances. Don't be afraid to try new things. For me, I've always been the type of person. I've tried a lot of things. I've had a lot of different jobs. I've been in a lot of different clubs. I've tried a lot of different sports. So those things are fun, and it gives you an opportunity to, again, to taste different things and see what it's like. And then as you get older, you can start narrowing down, where you think you want to go.
That's a great philosophy, Mayor. And Sebastian, would you want to share anything else about what you're working on, or any specific opportunities in advocacy that you want to ask about?
I don't have any specific opportunities, but I can share a little. So I go to NSU, the same school as Sanan. And recently I've done a bunch of things. I'm very active in speech and debate, also similar to Sanan. There's this organization that I work with called Pep Talk, which provides like resources and information to underprivileged kids that are aspiring debaters. And then I've also begun a working internship and program with the ACLU on both local social advocacy and just social advocacy skills in general.
That's really great. Thank you for sharing, Sebastian, and keep up the great work that you're doing, and everybody else who's doing the great work that you're doing as well. So I see that we're kind of at a place where we're not getting any questions in. So I'm going to see if anybody would like to share based on what Mayor Walker has, the advice that he's given us so far, and any questions that may come out of that as well. So how about Ashley? If you're with us. All right, no problem. How about Mr. Cutter? Would you like to share with us?
Sure, it's good to be with you tonight, and thank you, Mayor Walker, for sharing. It was fun to listen to, and although I agree with him that parental input is the best for you to listen to, I graduated from high school at the age of 17, and decided that education was not the path I was going on. For a year and a half, I worked sales, that's door-to-door sales. For another year and a half, I worked in the construction industry being trained as a foreman. That's when I decided to go back to school, went to college, then went on to get my master's degree. And I got out pretty young, yet when I got done with the master's degree, I was able to shave a year off of the college. You do that by credit overloads, and I don't recommend it. It's not good for your sleep. But it gives you the opportunity, just trying different things. And I think that's one of the pressures you guys are under right now that we weren't. We didn't have to say, oh, I have to make my decision right now. And so that part of what he said, I applaud, because anything that can take that absolute drumming career pressure, which is on you already, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I finished high school. And yet I landed in a career that has been rewarding and fulfilling. And obviously Mayor Walker has said basically the same thing. So I certainly wanted to add what he said there. And it's great being with you tonight. This is very much, very interesting and very informative.
Well, thank you, Mayor Walker and Mr. Cutter, for being here with us. And it's great to see two successful leaders who, said the same thing, in the sense that you can change and you can try new things and experience everything that you can to get to the place where you are eventually meant to be. So thank you for sharing that.
But we both said, don't go back to your parents and say, well, Mayor Walker said, I don't have to do that. I can wait to make my decisions. Remember, Mayor Walker did not say that. I'll say that to my children, but that's my prerogative.
That's true. That's true. But we'll definitely take your advice with a lot of weight, because it's led to a very successful path. So thank you for sharing that. How about Shir? Would you like to introduce yourself, anything that you're working on or passionate about, and any questions that you might have?
Hi, my name is Shir Gilad. I go to College Academy at Broward College. I'm kind of new to this. Some of the things I'm currently involved in is, one thing is I'm the president at North Campus DECA Collegiate. I'm also the founder of a math tutoring program at my school, and I more specifically run statistics. I'm the math club president, and I'm the Relay for Life team president. And I'm also on the junior advocacy board, and I'm the political science president. One thing for political science is I'm trying to actually pick an organization that we could really focus on and fundraise for, something of course positive and just to help others. So one question I have is, what are some organizations that you would advise or say look into further?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many organizations. So for me to try to pick one or two, there's so many out there. So you really that's where you want to try to focus a little bit more on what your passion might be, because the more passion you have for a particular topic or subject, that's going to make you more effective. Whether it's, I mean, you look down there, you see Make Our School Safe, but there's so many organizations. So you really need to, the best thing to do at that point would be to try to, what are you passionate about? What are you going to want to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, however much time you have to give to that organization? But that's something I think, because there's so many out there for you to, to pick, to rally for. So I think just, sit back, think about what your passion is, and that's the one you should look for.
Thank you, Mayor Walker. And that's a great question, Shir. And thank you for being willing to support one of the worthy organizations that may be able to be supported by you and your people and your school and community. But Mr. Caesar, if you're able to tell us about Make Our Schools Safe, to maybe help out Shir with that, and introduce yourself and any other comments that may be valuable.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Rich, great speech so far. Hey Randy. Yeah, my name is Caesar Figueroa. I'm a Parkland parent for about 6 years, and I've been listening to you guys. And I want to say a quick shout out with the kids. And my son's going to go to college next year, this fall, and it can be very stressful. And he went through the pain, what to pick the past 2 years, not knowing what to do. And I told him, listen, you're going to change, because I see a lot of kids change after the first 2 years of college, after the 4-year college. It happens. It's very common. So, once you go to college, you're going to speak to other kids, you're going to speak to professors, and you're going to see some other stuff you might like. It might just change. So don't stress out. You guys are young. You're only 17, 18 years old. So do not stress out in that. Also, I get involved a lot in the community. We got Make Our School Safe. I'm good friends with Lori Alderhoff. I raise money for her. I'm not involved in any politics like that. I'm just regular residents to help out the community. Okay, like what Rich Walker said, there's so many organizations out there you can pick and help and raise money. Make Our School Safe. It'd be great. You can call me anytime. I'll introduce you with Lori if you want to get involved. We'd like to get young kids in school, 9th graders, 10th graders, get involved and to raise money to make our school safe. And sometimes you guys will have great, opinions what to do. So again, don't stress out in college. I know how it is. My son is in there. My daughter went to college for 2 years. It wasn't for her, and she went into with Randy, the sales. And sales is okay. Okay, so don't be discouraged. That's it.
That's wonderful advice, and thank you for sharing and being willing to connect. Share, maybe that's a great organization that definitely is a big benefit to our community with what's transpired and can make a really big difference. So thank you, and I hope that both of you connect and others connect as well to continue to make a positive difference. How about let's see, Bailey, would you like to share what you've been working on and any questions or comments that you may have?
Hi, so my name is Bailey. I'm one of the 2 directors of communications for the Youth Innovation Table. Haven't been working on anything specific, just like, going to school and doing work for the Youth Innovation Table, getting ready for college in like a year and a half. I don't have any specific questions at the moment, but I've been enjoying the presentation so far.
Thank you, Bailey, and thank you for all of the work you do as communications director. And of course, we're all here to support you and everyone on this call today. How about Julianne? And I should also mention that I had called on Ashley earlier, but her microphone isn't working, and that was on me. I forgot to mention that. So Ashley, if you'd like to put any questions in the chat, please feel free to do so. And Julianne.
Hi, I'm Julianne. I'm a junior at Stoneman Douglas, and I don't have any questions for you. And I think whatever you shared was really important about diversifying and testing your waters and like different sports, clubs, and activities, especially for applying to college, which I am in a few months. And some projects I've been working on. I'm a aspiring campaign leader for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I am a sports editor for the Stoneman Douglas newspaper program, and I'm an aspiring captain for the Stoneman Douglas lacrosse team.
That's really great, Julianne, and best of luck in all of your endeavors and all of the things that you're working on as well. How about, who have I not called on yet? How about Grace? Grace is all the way in California, and she's helped us out in growing the Youth Innovation Table nationally to youth across the country. And Mayor Walker, we had talked earlier that the great thing about Zoom is that even though we're not in person and don't have that connection, we can connect with people from far and wide. So Grace, feel free to share what you've been working on and any questions that you might have.
Yeah, so like Simran said, I'm from San Diego, so this has just been like a really cool opportunity to just talk to people from around the country. I obviously work in the Youth Innovation Table. I also work on my school's yearbook as a sports editor. And I also do National Charity League, which is like a mother-daughter volunteer organization, and I do stuff with my church as well. But I think just like all of those combined has like really taught me a lot of different lessons and the importance of things like communication and leadership. I just had a question for Mayor Walker. What was the most important lesson that you've like learned throughout all your years and in different areas of leadership?
The most important, I don't know if it's a lesson I learned, but the most important thing is honesty. You know, honesty in everything that you do, whether it's business, politics, relationships, you know, whether it's friendships, marriage, what have you. Honesty is the most important feature that I think anybody can have, and certainly a good leader needs to have that honesty.
Thank you, Mayor Walker, and great question, Grace. Thank you so much. How about Miss Conroy, who's been on the call with us, if you'd like to share your feedback so far and anything that you can contribute to our discussion table.
There seems to be a lot of concern about your future occupations. And it's very, very important to follow what you want to do and don't let people influence you. As an example, you probably were all asked every year of your life, what do you want to be when you grow up, the first few weeks of school? And as a kid, I always said I wanted to be an astronaut, and every last teacher said that was not a good idea. And as a kid, you really respect what your teachers have to say. And I figured if every single teacher thought it was a bad idea, it must be a bad idea. And I never went down that path. And I regret it. It's what I wanted. It was my passion, and I got talked out of it. So if you have a passion, you're going to spend the next 40-something years of your life working. And it should be something you love to do, something for you, not what it sounds terrible, not what your parents want you to do, not what your teachers are telling you to do. It's what you want to do with your life. And if you go through 4 years of college and you find out your career choice wasn't exactly what you wanted it to be, you still have time to make another choice. But like at my point, that ship has sailed. I never got to be an astronaut, and I really regret it. And I don't want to see you go down the same path I did. Listen to yourself.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love seeing the discussion that's going on when we see from our youth who are worried about what's going to happen next and in college and beyond. And then our adult mentors who are being reassuring and letting us know that we have to listen to our own moral compass and listen to what we want to do, because that at the end of the day is what's most important. So I really appreciate that from both sides of the conversation. It's really assuring and very nice to hear. How about Miss Morella, who's joined us today? And Miss Morella, if you have any questions for Mayor Walker, any comments to our youth about what we're discussing or anything else? If you're able to hear us. All right, no worries.
Hello.
Oh, I think
so
now you've
sorry.
got it.
I'm out. Thank you. Do you hear me? I'm out.
Yes, we can hear you.
And I am so sorry. I was tied up in meetings. I was not able to listen to the mayor's presentation. I'm sorry I missed it, but I love to see you growing. All of you Youth Innovation Table, you inspire us all, adults. I've seen you growing. When I say youth, not only you, Sinan, but the Youth Innovation Table have been involved, collaborating in anything I can, and it's great to see, and it's great to see you. You inspire us all. So anything that I can do to contribute, that's what I'm here for. Back to you, Sinan.
Thank you so much, Miss Morella, for always supporting us and for those words of encouragement. We really appreciate it. All right, so I think we've gotten to everybody who's wanted to ask a question. Of course, if anybody else would like to ask any more questions, but what I'd like to do at this point, because we've heard everyone's concerns and questions and things of such, if Mayor Walker, if you have any other ideas that you'd like to share, any opportunities that are in the community, because that's one thing that we've heard is that our youth are looking for opportunities to explore their passions. So any opportunities in the community in Parkland or beyond that you see, or just any opportunities to continue to innovate based upon the challenges of our time.
Yeah, I think, now that things are starting to open up, we'll start to see the possibility of more opportunities for people to get back involved. Obviously, with COVID, it's been a little difficult to have these types of events, and organizations, they didn't stop, but they slowed down. So I think now that we're opening up more, I think you're going to see more opportunities. So again, staying active, something always leads to something else, and being out in front of everything is great, because now it's I know who's here, and I know the people who want to get involved. And when you see the people over and over who want to get involved, when opportunities arise, now we know where to go. We know to go to the Youth Innovation Table, or different avenues like that. So I appreciate you guys staying active. Don't stress too much. You're still young. There's a lot of time left. Just keep working hard, staying positive. You guys are really setting an example. It's great to see, and hopefully we have more opportunities to connect with one another.
I really do hope we have more opportunities, Mayor Walker, because it's very refreshing and very nice to hear from you and your perspective on the issues that we're dealing with as youth and also as a community. I see Miriam has her hand up. Miriam, if you have any questions or comment, go right ahead.
Yeah, I had a question that came up because I've been hearing today a lot of, our adult mentors are saying, don't stress, we have time, it'll all be figured out. And I just am wondering what makes it get figured out? Is it just time, or are there things that we should be actively pursuing to make sure that it all works out well and we pick an option that we learn to love?
Right. So the big thing with that is, when we say don't stress, it'll work itself out. As long as you stay positive, you stay active, you continue to work hard, it will work out because of all those efforts that you're making. So as long as you continue on that path, you're going to make the right decision. And this decision that you make today, you might decide, 6 months, a year from now, to make a different decision. But as long as you stay focused and, stay true to yourself and continue, everything that you guys are doing, your decisions will work themselves out because of your efforts. And that's why it's hard for, me, I'm sure Mr. Cutter feels the same, to see you kids stressing out. You are that much ahead of everyone else because you guys are so active. You work so hard. So as long as you continue that focus, you'll get to where you want to be. So now is not the time to stress. Now is the time to, keep working hard, keep focusing, go with what you think. And if you have any doubts and you feel like changing direction, at some point, know that you can do it. So that's why you don't need to stress, because if you decide to change course a little bit, it'll be okay. It'll work itself out.
That's really great to hear, Mayor Walker. Thank you. And Miriam, that's a wonderful question that really not only puts everything into perspective, but also gives us a chance to really dig deeper into what we need to do and how to really understand what it is that we can get out of life and everything else. I see that Kushi has her hand raised. Kushi, if you have another question or anything else that you'd like to share.
Okay. Thank you, Sinan. I feel like right now the world has gotten much more fast-paced and more competitive than, like, say 20, 30 years back. Even like a decade back, I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, and the acceptance rates for certain schools have dropped so much compared to his time to now. And that's just one example that shows, like, how much our world is getting competitive over time. So I feel like because of this, there's less and less space for mistakes, and eventually it'll reach a point where there won't be any space for mistakes, and that's not good because we grow from learning from our mistakes. And ever like since from young age for me, like, and I think for many of my peers, that we've been told that, be on the right path, make the right decisions, make the right choices at the right time, and make sure you uh, go into a path where you can live like a financially stable life. And that has been put above something that we love to do, because our parents our parents love us and they want us to do something that, makes us safe and stable, rather than something that we love, but now you're in an unstable situation. So I was just wondering, between those two choices, I know most people have like different opinions, because, some people, have decisions where they didn't get to do what they love and they regret it, but some people um, are in a place where they got to do what they love, but now they're in a place where they're not financially stable. So which one is the better choice? Because not all people have the option to do something that they love that makes them in a financially stable position.
Well, that's a tough question, but in reality, if you always do something you love, you're going to be in a better place. Maybe you're not going to be in a better place financially, but you're going to be in a better place. And maybe you won't need all the money and, nice cars and all those types of things, because you're happy. So the best advice I could give you is do what you love, and it'll work itself out. And and you'll have opportunities to change and do that. But as long as you do what you love, you'll be happy.
I have an answer as well, Mayor Walker and Sanan and group. It's a great question. And it's great to see everybody. Sorry I couldn't join you for longer. Mayor Walker, again, thank you for supporting the kids. So I agree with Mayor Walker that typically if you do what you love, good stuff will flow, and often money flows from doing what you love. I know it has for me, and in my capacity as a family lawyer, being mayor doesn't pay that much, but I don't do that for the money at all. But I do have 2 jobs to support my family. But you could also potentially, quote unquote, compromise. And what I mean by that is maybe for a period of your career or your life, you do what you love. And maybe for another period of career or your life, you focus on the money and not necessarily doing what you love. Sam, can you get that for Aunt Joanne, honey?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my sister's joining me and we're about to head on out. So that's, those are a couple of my pearls of wisdom. I do believe that it is possible, Kushi, to have both, to be able to do what you love and have financial stability. And I agree with Mayor Walker, if you had to choose between the two, definitely choose doing what you love. And I'm sorry I only popped in for a minute or two, but I'm glad to hear that question. And I'm glad to see everybody. Have a good evening, and I will definitely see you at the next innovation table for the youth. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brook, for joining us and for all of your support and guidance. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this without you, so we really appreciate it and appreciate you stopping in for a little bit to say hi.
You're welcome. Anytime, all the time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, so that was a great question, Kushi, and got some insight from Mayor Brook as well. Mayor Brook, for those who don't know, is our mayor of Coral Springs, who's a founder of the Youth Innovation Table and a mentor to us, along with Mayor Walker as well. So are there any other questions from our youth or adult mentors who'd like to share? Any comments, anything that you'd like to share with feedback or anything else at all? All right. Oh, Sheer, go right ahead.
This goes back to that question. I felt like I had to add something just because maybe I have a, more positive perspective, or just because I haven't had as much as experience, of course, Mr. Walker, but I feel like you can come do what you love and find a way to get financial stability. And one example is, I know there are a lot of influencers that, literally get up and go live in a bus, and they go travel around the world. And I know a ton of people do that. And usually when people look at that pathway, they think about the financial issues that come along because, without working anything out, you have no income coming in, but there's always something you can do. And if you're really passionate about something, in my perspective, you could definitely find a way to retrieve that income. So one example of just this situation is you could have blogs, or you could sell on Etsy, on eBay, or anything like that. So I feel like it's not just a black and white situation. And you don't have to really choose. You can combine things or be innovative just to make sure that you're happy as a person and also stable financially.
That's a great take on it, Sheer. I think coming down to balancing out the different perspectives that everybody has shared. I think Mayor Walker, you definitely shared with us a good thought to ponder, and some great insight as to how we look forward and focusing and honing in on what it is that we love to do, because like you said, that's what we're most likely going to be doing for a very long time. So making sure that it's the right thing and the right thing for us. So at this point in the juncture, I'd like to invite Mayor Walker, if you have final words of advice for everyone on the call, and your final take on what we should be looking at right now, on the thoughts that we've heard at our discussion table, and anything else that you'd like to close with.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, and I appreciate the discussion. You guys are doing great work. Having things like this puts you above a lot of other kids. So don't stress yourself out. Do what you love. Continue to work hard. Stay positive, and good things will happen. It was great to be here. Love seeing what you guys continue to do. And, just again, thank you, and keep up the great work.
Mayor Walker, thank you for taking all of our questions that we've had. I know that there have been a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different insight that you've been able to share. I can tell you that it's been extremely valuable. And thank you for all of the work that you do for us. You're my mayor, so thank you for being a wonderful mayor. Thank you for being a leader for our community and all communities. And you're always, always welcome to join us again at the Youth Innovation Table. We really appreciate you being here. I'm going to turn it over just for a moment to Miriam, if you can share the information to get connected with the Youth Innovation Table through our social media and our WhatsApp, and then we'll close out today's session.
Yes, I can put all that information in the chat right now, but on Instagram and Facebook, we are Youth Innovation Table, and Twitter is a little different. So I'll just put all the information in the chat. Okay. And if you guys want to get our emails and be on our email list, I will kind of keep a note of anyone who has sent it in the beginning of the meeting. But if you would like to do that, please send your email now, and I can add you to our email list as well.
Perfect. And before we end off, we would like to take a quick screenshot picture. It's great to see everybody has their camera on. That's very exciting. So Miriam, if you can direct us on when to smile and how to get that going.
Yes, sure. I can take the picture. So yeah, everyone has their camera on, which is great. And I'm just going to count from 3 and I will take the picture. So 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Came out good?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you, Mayor Walker, again for joining us, for being our speaker today, for inspiring us and everything else that you do. We truly appreciate it, and we're honored to have you here with us. And to everybody who joined us, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your insightful questions, your advice, and everything else that you contribute to the Youth Innovation Table. We have meetings every other Monday, so please continue to join us, continue to support our youth, and we're always happy to have you. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, everybody.